Before when we're done, I just want to talk to you. I just want to go over something real quick with you. Get some funny shit to tell you. I keep
Yeah,
forgetting.
I think we are live now. Thanks for joining arm wrestling fans. So Devon Larratt versus Ryan Espey. They have been competitors and arm wrestlers for about 3 decades. So they are both very serious veteran arm wrestlers. So recently the rivalry got kind of ignited. They've been arm wrestling each other, beating each other, losing to each other for about 2 decades now. But this time it was something different. This time it was something personal. They never had a super match against each other and they never could make it work out, not even this time. So Devon Larratt decided to show up at the Canadian Nationals and there he decided to beat Ryan Espey again and again, even if that took himself losing to some random guys who were not capable of beating him, so that he was taking dives to beat Ryan again and again. And that's what something that Ryan did not enjoy too much. So after that, this rivalry started. I've already made some videos about it, and today we are going to discuss that in detail. For discussing this topic in detail, we have a special guest, Mr. Italia, Paul Italia. How are you doing, brother?
What's up, Pradeep? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Enjoying the
Want to
life.
thank you for having me on today, man. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'm looking to get in on this topic, man. A lot of controversy going on, and kind of just want to wrap our heads around everything.
You're the man. You're the man. Yes, we'll discuss that. So, guys, if the audios are level, then please kind of let us know. If my audio levels are usually low, so I'll increase it if that's the case tonight. How's it doing today, Paul and Pradeep? Okay, Kerry Fisher. We're doing great with her. So, what are your initial thoughts? So, what first of all, what do you know about this rivalry? Like, how much have you been following this?
Yeah, I've been following it, bro. It's been real interesting for me. Yeah, man, it's just kind of crazy, dude, how it all just played out and everything. And Devin went and kind of dominated him in the tournament and all, and was kind of giving it to him. But I gotta say, bro, it wasn't as crazy as Devin normally gets. Devin sometimes could really unleash it on people, and I feel like it was giving it him, but not as crazy as we've seen in the past. So my issue with the whole situation is Ryan being the president of his organization. I know he's making the distance between the committee, saying the ethics committee has nothing to do with being the president, but your ethics committee is part of your organization that you are the number one man in charge of. So from the optical look, it doesn't look too well that everything went down that day the way it did. I didn't see none of the referees or anybody saying anything to Devin that there was a problem. And then to go home, file a complaint, and now we got all this crazy shit going on. What my personal take of the whole situation was that Ryan got humiliated that day. His ego was hurt. His family was there. His friends were there. He was working out of emotion. He was very, very angry, and he just wanted to get back at Devin somehow. So the first thing he did was he pulled his card of being the president, man. And was like, all right, I'm going to stick it to this guy. I'm going to go to the committee. I'm going to bring him up on charges and all. But I think he didn't really think this all the way through. And I don't think he realized he was going to get the backlash that he did. And when it all did happen, I think he's really regretting it right now. And I think doesn't know what to do. And I think the best situation that he could have did on Neil Pickup's show was, instead of not really telling anybody what the real problem was, but he should have just said, listen, I made a mistake. My anger got the best of me, and I probably would have made the wrong mistake going and filing a complaint. The whole community would have been like, all right, bro, we respect you. You're a man. Everybody makes a wrong decision here and there, but you came and you manned up after. What he did, I don't get it, bro. You know what I mean? You were coming on here to explain your side of the story and to kind of clear everything up, and it just never happened.
Yeah.
Am I right, Pradeep? Were you
Yeah.
feeling the same thing, bro? Were you waiting for Ryan to just be like, all right, this is what made me mad, and you were going to be like, oh, shit, I didn't even look at it like that. Okay, I see your point of view. But it never happened.
Yeah. Paul, I'm missing one person, one random person on this podcast. I'll tell you why. Because I'm agreeing 100% with what you are saying. And usually I like this style of podcast where there are two parties to debate. Like, I wanted someone who was completely on Ryan SP's side, who would defend what he did. And we're kind of missing that missing that person. So maybe I'll try to play the role of a person who is defending SP. But I absolutely agree with this 100%. Initially, I thought that maybe there is something that we don't know about. I was given some information that Ryan was not mad about something that Devon did on the table, but maybe Devon did something off the table. That's what bothered Ryan. And when Ryan was on that podcast, when it went live, I was hoping to see something shocking, as you also said in your video. Like, now he's going to say something that nobody knows about, and we are going to be shocked. Okay, Devon did this. So that's why he was mad. And there was nothing like that. There was nothing like that. You filed a complaint against someone, and you're the chairman, you were the competitor who lost on the table, so everything is revolving around you, and you don't even know what are you mad about. They basically, including Neil Pickup and the super chats and Devon, they asked him multiple times, like, what exactly is it that you are mad about? And at first he said basically nothing, and then he changed his statements like 2-3 times. Every other time he was like kind of mad about something different. So I don't know what the case there was, but it looked to me like, at least if I were to assign a percentage to that, I'll say maybe at least 90% it was Ryan's personal ego being involved there, and it was less about rules and ethics.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And I'm just curious to see who agrees with Ryan on this whole situation. Like you were saying, you want to play both sides and everything. So I've been hearing the other side's problem. And I do kind of understand it now. I understand how they have a problem with Devin entering a tournament just to get Ryan Espey and then laying down, and they change some of the results of the tournament. When I look at it like that and I listen to that perspective, I understand the other side's views as that. Now, as far as Ryan being the one to go file the complaint, if that was his problem, I don't think that was right. I think if there was a problem, it should have been dealt with that day. Something should have been said. And then we still really don't know what were the actual charges. At first we heard something clothing, then we heard it was off the table, bullying, so what was the actual charge that brought us to this situation? Do we actually know that? Is that like confirmed?
I think he mentioned a couple of things. First one was internet bullying, and that was kind of one thing where Devon caught him. He basically said that, who filed the complaint? So Ryan said, yes, I was the one who filed the complaint. And Devon said, in the complaint, the internet bullying section was highlighted in yellow. So the subsections of bullying, not bullying, abuse, subsections of abuse under which Devon was being complained against or charged is the incorrect word as per Ryan Espey. So I'm using the word complaint. So there was that subsection of internet bullying, and on the podcast, Ryan disagreed. No, I never heard that term. I never used that term. Then how did it end up on the complaint that Ryan himself submitted? So that was kind of a doubtful scenario for me. So basically, belittling, like all of the what are these terms called? I don't exactly remember, but belittling, trying to not defame, but those were the terms that can be easily misinterpret or are subject to interpretation of an individual, and these are the things that can be very easy for someone to charge someone against with these terms. So I also don't exactly know what were the terms, but I do know what was written in Devon Larratt's in the complaint that Devon Larratt received. I do have the. I'll let you take charge of the live stream. Until that time, I'll find it. What was the exact charges?
Okay, and we got a super chat in. Do you want to read that, or you want me to grab that?
Maybe you can read it.
Yeah, we got a $1.99 super chat from Vigilante. A lot of soft boys in arm wrestling. Thank you for that super chat. Appreciate it, brother.
Thanks, brother. Yes,
yeah, he's using your words, the soft boys, man, saying that Ryan was kind of soft with, his reaction to everything, and I definitely agree with that. My whole outtake from the whole situation, and I really want to make this point, is that we cannot allow the cancel culture in the arm wrestling. That's what my biggest problem here is. It's not even the guys that are involved or whatever. If this was anybody, I just don't believe in this cancel culture. I just arm wrestling needs to stay away from that. And if we have a problem or whatever, we work it out. And I just think Ryan made a mistake, and I don't think this is the end of the world for Ryan. I think Ryan could still come back from this and maybe apologize and say that he might have made the mistake and worked off of emotion, and I think people would respect that. I know I would. I've always liked Ryan. I thought Ryan was a respectful guy and all, and he might have a different view of where he'd like to see arm wrestling go. I know he's a more conservative guy. He's not into the trash talking. And I respect that, that's fine. But in my eyes, we need that trash talking. We need all that hype. It adds so much to it. So if it's not your thing, just stay out of that, But Pradeep, can you confirm though all the stuff that Ryan Espey's been saying in the past about Devin? Have you heard those things? Have you known of this before this whole situation?
No, I don't think he said anything, because Devon was the same case is in this case the same situation is with Devon as well. He was not able to communicate clearly anything that Ryan said was trash talking or shit talking, as he was previously mentioning, and that was one of my problems with what Devon did in this situation. Because even before Ryan, I think the way Ryan behaved on that podcast, the reasoning and the answers that he gave, he kind of deserved that hate after that podcast, Neil's podcast. But before that, I think he was getting some unnecessary hate because Devon used the word shit talking and trash talking, and basically 100% of the shit talking on his part was saying that I believe that Devon is not the number one guy. I believe that I can beat Devon. And it's a natural reaction. Everybody says that, especially if you have previously beaten that guy, which Ryan SP has. He has wins over Devon, and Devon himself admitted that he probably has a winning record over Devon on the left arm. So I don't think it was anything wrong. I don't think it was trash talking or shit talking for him to say that Devon may not be the number one guy, he's the number one guy, or recently that maybe Corey is the best guy or Cody Merritt can also beat. So these were the sort of things that he said, that he believes that there are potentially 2-3 guys, including himself, who can give Devon Larratt a run for his money on the left arm. So that sort of things he said. Would you say that it is trash talking or shit talking for 15 years?
My question would be is how did the whole Chris Gabi podcast come about? Because that might tell a little insight right there. So if there was, shit talking going back and forth, behind the scenes, as far as Ryan on Devin, it would look natural for Ryan to go team up with Gabi, come out with a podcast, and they're both motive of them not liking Devin. So if that is how that came about, I could see that maybe going behind the scenes, there was a lot of shit talking going on. Now, how did you feel about the whole Chris Gabi situation? Because we've had Chris Gabi on our Arm Wrestling Buzz show, and kind of what Devin's problem with Chris Gabi was, it's kind of what I said that day on the show to Chris. Because Chris was saying, I troll a lot of people, and if you're secure with who you are, you're not going to go and fight with me. You're going to just know who you are and not have to. And I said, no, Chris, I said, the problem that I had with you, bro, is like, it's one thing to troll me, but you brought into our whole conflict was my girlfriend. You made a couple of statements about her, and that's where I had a problem. You're bringing family, and that should not be brought into the arm wrestling world. So when Devin said that, it hit home for me. I was like, oh, wow. Okay, so Gabi's doing this to a bunch of people, and I definitely understand where Devin would come off with that. Now, if Ryan and Gabi teamed up, and the only reason they teamed up, and I kind of got to believe that because Ryan is such the opposite of Gabi, but they would come together with the same motive of not liking Devin. Well, then, that kind of shows Devin's whole issue right there.
Yeah.
But what is your thoughts, bro, with whole Gabi with going after Devin's, brother that passed away, his ex-wife and all that?
I think Chris Gabi is a really emotionally insecure person, to be honest, because what I got from the initial phases, and I was following arm wrestling back then as well. It was almost 5 years ago. I was like religiously following every single post back then. And it started with just one thing, Paul. And you'll be surprised to know it started with a king's move. That was the time around 2018 when Devon really started embracing the King's move against Matt Mask and in some other matches. And Gabi got seriously pissed off because of that. And just because of that one King's move, on that podcast, the Arm Hub podcast with Herman Stevens, Chris Gabi, and Ryan Espey, and there was one other person, I don't know who he was. On that podcast, they literally, it was getting tense. It was like Jody had to intervene. Jody had to step in that podcast and say, guys, chill out, chill out. So Chris Gabi and Devon were going back and forth against each other. That is still available on internet. Arm Hub, Devon Larratt, if you type it, that podcast will show up. So that
Do me a
is
favor, Pradeep, on this, you got to attach that link for that, man. I definitely would like to check that out. I didn't know about
Yeah.
that episode.
So that's the whole situation. You'll be surprised how can someone be so mad at a person. And I will not say they used to be kind of close friends before that, but they basically had nothing against each other before that podcast. And just one King's move. Devon was saying that it is a part of a game, it is an advanced move, and Chris Gabi got so frustrated, he was like literally, he was getting out of control on that podcast. Why? Just because he hates that King's move. And then it started after that. Whenever Devon King's moved, after that he got even more mad. I don't exactly know when the podcast with Ryan Espey started. Was it before Gabi said those things about Devon or his family, or after that? I don't exactly know that. And I'm also not sure that if Ryan started this podcast with Gabi because of that reason, maybe he wanted to piss off Devon. I would say that no, that doesn't seem to be the, like, who would do that? Well, like, Ryan Espey at that time had absolutely no reason to do that. That he wants to
But
team
do
up
you
against
see
him.
Ryan Espey and Gabi being a partnership though? Other than that, bro, like I see two opposite bipolar, personalities. Ryan is very conservative and not really trash talking, where Gabi is the most extreme trash talking dude there is in the arm wrestling world. So I don't see them coming together other than their hatred for Devin, so to say. This is just me talking out of my opinion. I don't know anything as far as facts with this.
I would still doubt that. I don't think this is how it works, or it worked at that time. Personally speaking, I would love to have someone who has the exact opposite opinions as myself, and that would really elevate the level of the podcast. I would love to have such show. And speaking about guests, I think Tom is also going to join. So this podcast is probably going to get worse. We needed one person who was on the other side, and now we have a third person who is on the same side.
So if you're in the chat, guys, and you believe strongly that Ryan is completely right and that we are totally off our rockers right now, make it be known. We'll bring you on, and we could definitely.
Yeah, if there is someone who genuinely, not like, we do not need anyone who's trying to fake that, but who genuinely believes that Devon was wrong and Ryan Espey was right here, please send me a message on Instagram or somewhere on Facebook. I'll send you the link.
Yeah, I got a funny comment in there that I just wanted to bring up, and it was under the Devon Larratt versus Ryan Espey beef video I just put out, and the comment was from Muscle Car Mike, and it says, "You need to start a once-a-year tradition where you give out an award to the biggest crybaby loser of the year in arm wrestling and call it the Espey Award." I had to say that, that was just funny and all. But I want to say, bro, like, I don't have problems with Ryan Espey other than, this mistake he's made. I don't want to personally attack him. I think he's a good guy, man. I've always liked Ryan and all. So, I'm sure he's really getting a lot of inboxes, a lot of hate, and I hate to see that. I strongly encourage you, just apologize, bro. Say you were wrong, say you were acting on emotion, and then we could all move on and everything. Yeah. Look who it is. Tom is in the house. What up, Tom?
What's up, guys?
Tom, you getting me in trouble out there in the arm wrestling world, bro. A lot of people want to come on on an interview with me because my co-host is stirring shit up.
I know, dude. I'm too crazy, man. I'm too unpredictable. They don't know what's gonna happen. Pradeep, it seems like you flip-flopped on your stance with this topic, though.
There's a reason for that, because as I said in the previous video as well, I was not sure what the case is, like what exactly happened. I was not aware of the details. That's why I said I don't know what Ryan's stance on this is. That's why I said I'm like 75% on Devon's side and maybe 25% on Ryan's side, because I was told some information. I won't tell you who, but I was told some information that there was something that Devon Larratt may have done off the table that was not seen on the cameras. That's what made Ryan Espey mad. And as we got to know on that Neil's podcast, there was absolutely nothing that he told us.
He
So
couldn't
there
really
was nothing.
justify it. Obviously, he had mentioned that like he made Ryan's kid cry, or Ryan's kid was crying for some reason. But Devin obviously made sure that that was not his intent. It was just, the competitive trash talk.
Yeah.
We got
And
somebody else in the room. Robert
yeah, Robert.
is,
I don't know
Robert, he's
who
an arm
Robert.
wrestler from Texas.
Okay, you sent him the link.
No, I sent him the link so I could click the link myself because it was on my phone. I couldn't click it on the desktop. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So some people think that I want people to ban people or to cancel people, and I'm the exact opposite of that. As soon as I saw that there is nothing in this case, absolutely nothing, and now I think it was kind of justified what Devon did. Like I literally now I don't see anything wrong with what he did. If there was something wrong, if you did something wrong against me, I would probably amplify it a little bit and then tell the world about it so that you are made to look bad on screen. And even taking into consideration that amplification that Ryan may be trying to do, still there was nothing. So that was a shocker for me. That was a shocker.
Right. I think Devin handled it perfectly in the podcast. Like some of the questions he asked, he made Brian basically expose himself with his answers because he wasn't able to answer properly. So yeah, Devin asked perfect questions and kind of, really showed what the real truth was.
I mean, Tom, I don't really see any perfect questions being really asked, bro. I feel like he just wasn't prepared.
Yeah.
I just had nothing to say, bro.
Well, yeah.
I just don't get it, bro. Like, you're coming on. This is your one way to write it all. And then just to come on there and just kind of be like smug and just looking like, like you're too good for this and that you don't have to explain yourself. I was just like, then why are you here?
Yeah.
Right.
Guys, I'd like to read a super chat. Jaya Williams with a $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. Why not put Artem Morozov versus the winner of Jerry versus Hermes at East versus West 10 and pit Devon versus Dennis? So that's a good idea. East versus West 10. So you mean in November. So some news for the arm wrestling community. At first, Gennady got injured. So the matches that Gennady Kuykina had scheduled against Artem Morozov for this July 29th event and then against Devon, the rematch, both of them got cancelled because his bicep got injured. Initially, Engin set up a match between Devon and Morozov for August 26th. Now that match is also cancelled. Unfortunately, Morozov said that he has some stomach issues that he needs to take care of, so he cannot pull. And as I said, Paul, I don't know if you watched my live stream yesterday, I said, mark my words, Devon is going to call out Denis Siplenkov now, and Dennis is going to deny the offer.
Video on it.
Yeah, I said it.
Wait. Did Morozov get injured? Was that today? I didn't hear about that.
He had some stomach issues. Initially, he accepted, and today he told Devon and Engin that he cannot compete in August. He wants to take a break.
Yeah,
and
so
that's
are they scrapping that match, or what's happening with the Georgie match?
No. So
that is still happening. That is still happening.
On.
Oh, it's for August. He's not doing it for August.
Yeah. So that's exactly what happened.
Georgie going on this one, and then the next one, they're trying to get Denis Siplenkov, but it also gets interesting because it's not just right arm. He called him out on both arms, which I find really, really interesting. Then I don't know. Do you think that Dennis is gonna accept this now on such short notice? I know he was training and originally, thought this was coming up, but what's your guys' thoughts on that? Where did Pradeep go? Look, we lost your picture, man.
Yeah, we lost your video, Pradeep. It's interesting. I thought they were going to have it at King of the Table because they already had Dennis come up to King of the Table. So I wonder if there's a conflict of interest. But I think they're both kind of under the Core Sports promotion. So I'm not sure if there's going to be a conflict of interest. But I'm not sure if Dennis is ready. But I would love to see it on both arms, see if Devin can get some revenge on the left and then see how he does on the right.
So which match was scheduled for King of the Table? I missed what you were saying.
We're talking about Denis Siplenkov. Remember how they had him come up onto the stage in one of the King of the Table? So I had assumed it would be in the King of the Table promotion, not East versus West with the Dennis match.
I kind of was under the same impression too, and then I didn't think of that until you just said that, Tom. That is real interesting because now Engin's involved, so I'm thinking it might be East versus West. They're trying to make this happen at.
Yeah. I think that match was always supposed to happen at East versus West. It was the Vovoda versus John match that got shifted to. Maybe I
But
missed.
but but do
Yeah.
you remember when Denis Saplenkov came up and gave like a little speech in one of the King? I think it was not the last one, but the one before King of the Table that he was there.
John Brzenk after the John Brzenk, was it? Or I'm
I,
not really
Well,
sure, but I
that
just
was when he mentioned Devin in the post match interview there against John Brzenk. But even before that one, he had some interview saying, he wants to come back. I think that's when he mentioned John. But then after the John match, he had mentioned Devin for the next opponent.
Yeah.
if you're in the chat, guys, if you guys know, let us know. Was it originally set at King of Table for the Dennis versus Devin?
And
pretty
you asked
sure
a
it
question, Paul, if we think it is going to happen or not. I already gave my answer yesterday. There is no way. There is absolutely no way. Unless they try to buy Denis Siplenkov with some extra cash, which may happen. I just don't see any reason why Denis should accept. Because it was not long. Just a couple of days ago, Engin was asked about Denis Siplenkov's current shape. It was 2 days ago, and Engin said that Dennis is not even 80%. He's not even at the level at which he was when he pulled John Brzenk. He's not even there. We recently saw, it was old practice footage, but how easily Morozov was just literally toying with Denis Siplenkov in that practice pool. So I don't think he just can get. If he gets that match, I'm giving my prediction right now, Devon Larratt 3-0, quite easy. There is absolutely nothing that Dennis can do to Devon right now.
Yeah, August is pretty soon. And if we remember, I think several months back, Dennis was talking about how he wants to be prepared by like October or even like November. So he wanted a later date to prepare for.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
because
don't see this
initially he was
happening, man.
preparing. He was preparing for a match around this time. So it is not like a surprise. But then Devon said about a couple of months ago that he's not ready. That match may not happen at that time. So that's why maybe he stopped his training. He laid off some pancakes. So I don't think he's just going to be ready as soon as August. It's literally just 1 month. Not going to happen.
Pradeep, why do you think he threw in there the left arm though? I
To,
thought
to,
that
to
was
regain
really
the legacy hammer back. He himself mentioned that.
okay.
Get his revenge for being destroyed in 2019 or 2018.
Yeah, right now Devon beats him both arm, left and right. And something else that I said? I said that if Devon calls out Denis Siplenkov, he knows that Denis cannot beat him. That's why he's calling him out. And he added more to that, saying that he wants that left-handed match as well. Because Denis has himself said many times that his left is injured. He's not even training it. That big guy Valera that you may have seen in the practice pools, Denis cannot beat him in the practice pools right now. You can see he's like literally trying everything, and that Valera guy is beating Denis on the left. So I'm not even sure.
How long does he need to beat him with the right hand and left hand?
If for Denis, for right arm, I'll say maybe 3 months of preparation to make that match interesting. 3-4 months.
And by preparation, do we
think, bro?
mean supplementation?
Yeah, all of that. So
I
I'll
mean,
say
to be honest.
in November maybe this match can happen.
Now, do you guys think that he's back to cycling like he used to, or he's doing
Probably a lot more moderate. I
moderation?
mean, after the health scare like that, I think he probably is not going the same lengths he used to. I mean, physically, we can see he's not like he was incredible, almost 300. I think maybe even more than 300 pounds. Dude was massive, but I don't think he'll probably be back at that shape. Probably more of a TRT type dosage.
Yeah. Dennis was even lean even at that weight of 140, even 45 kilos. What's that, like almost as big as Jerry? King Dennis.
Oh, that's sick.
King
Denis
Dennis.
Siplenkov card. Is that where did you get those cards?
Devon.
Oh yeah, arm bet, guys. Get over to arm bet. Get your
Oh, that's dope.
your playing
That's awesome.
cards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And of
Amazing
course, we
cards.
got the
Paul, you
superstar.
are also on there. Like you're a number 3 or what?
number 4, baby.
Yeah, Paul is a number 4.
Hold on. Let me
That's
show
sick.
you guys. Bada bing, bada boom. That's when you know you made it. Yeah. Ryan
Nope.
Grandin
Nope, still cannot see it.
against the
It's
superstar.
blurry. It's blurry.
Yeah,
There
yeah, I
we go.
got
There
it
it
now.
is. There it is.
So Corey Carver with the $5 super chat. Thanks for the support, brother. Ryan couldn't answer Devon questions. could tell he was full of poop with his story. If Ryan would have won the
Yeah.
matches, none of this would happen. And he was actually asked this question: had you won this tournament, had you won these matches against Devon, would you still file a complaint? And he basically said he wouldn't, because then all of the things that happened that bothered him wouldn't have happened. Devon laying down, intentionally losing, trying to beat him again and again, those things wouldn't have happened if he won. So that's why he wouldn't. But in my opinion, that's only half of the truth. If he won, he would, no way, even considering all of these things, he still wouldn't file a complaint whatsoever. I just don't think he will.
No, because his feelings wouldn't be completely shattered.
Yeah.
How does he write this, guys? How could he make this better now?
Well, I mean, I was saying it yesterday, a video I made yesterday, just show respect to Devin, be like, hey, you won. I don't like your antics, but it is what it is. Let's move on. I apologize for trying to cancel you or bring your name down with this controversy or with the ethics committee situation. And just, because obviously they're both competitors. Devin shows respect after the fact. Everybody knows that. So I think he should just, they should move on. He should show respect. They should come to some agreement. That's what I was hoping they would on the podcast yesterday. I was watching it, hoping they would come to some agreement. Even Neil Pickup was saying, I hope this could be resolved in some way. And it really didn't. It kind of ended with Devin leaving and then Ryan just going on, still complaining with that smug attitude.
I think it went worse for Ryan. I literally just got off there and I was just scratching my head like, dude, why did you just do that to yourself?
I think Neil was doing that he should have done, like he was doing something very rightfully. I got the impression of when there is a family, like there is one elder son and there is one younger son, and the elder one is bullying him, and then the father figure kind of steps in to protect this young guy. That's why there were some questions that Neil and Paul knew that Ryan is not going to be able to answer, so they immediately took those questions on themselves. For one example, there was one question, like when people were asking this multiple times and they already knew Ryan is not going to answer that, why did you withdraw your complaint? If Devon is still saying that he's not regretting anything, he'll do that again, so then why did you withdraw your complaint? And they knew he's not going to answer that, so Paul took that question and he started answering it before it even got to Ryan Espey. I don't remember exactly what he answered, but that's how they were kind of protecting, and I think that was kind of needed because it was getting really difficult for Ryan over there.
Yeah,
I agree, Pradeep. I felt he did that. I felt like he did that when he was saying, Ryan, when you're all rattled right now because we're on and all, but he goes, yesterday I remember you saying, this was what your main problem was with your kid being there. He was kind of like trying to save him, like, remember, stick to this part of the story.
They're throwing him the layup, but he couldn't even make the layup. Couldn't even make the alley-oop there.
Now, yeah. I just have one thing I want to bring up because I've definitely had a couple of situations with this. My question is to Tom. Tom, do you think it's a problem that you jump to conclusions too quick, and not give, when we were on giving our thoughts with Ryan Espey and Devin the other day, it was like you already had Ryan written off, you were kind of,
who turned out to be right
this time. I was about to say this time it worked out for you. This time it worked out for you.
But just hold on, I just want you to hear me out. Where me and Pradeep both kind of stayed back and we're like, you know what, we want to hear the other side first. And the only reason why I bring this up, Tom, is because a lot of the guests, everybody kind of groups us all together. Even though the Armwrestling Buzz show, the whole thing is we're supposed to have our own thoughts. Right. And Absolutely. We're all cool of it. But what is happening sometimes is some of these people are just associating all of us together with, well, Tom took his strong opinion on this, so now Paul is locked in with Tom on this opinion. And that was what was brought up to me with Ryan and all. And I made sure that to say what it was with the Arm Wrestling Buzz. We take pride on all of us having our own thoughts and reactions and all. So I just wanted to question you on that. Like, what's your whole theory and thoughts behind that?
Right. So I definitely want to emphasize to anyone watching that with the podcast, we have the fan, we have Josh, we have Pradeep, we have Paul. We all have different opinions. We're going to share our different opinions at the end of the day. We're going to come together and discuss them. I think the discussion is great for the sport as far as sharing ideas and coming up with conclusions. I don't apologize for speaking what I believe or my opinions whatsoever, to be honest. if you don't like it, that's fine. Don't tune in, but you're not going to expect any ass kissing or any, cookie cutter answers, just trying to go along with conforming with whatever opinion seems to be, popular at the time. What I'm going to assess what I see, what I believe. Even from the start, I saw the ethics committee situation video with Devin, and I was just appalled because you see with other sports, like, you can talk to Brandon Allen about powerlifting and how powerlifting has become woke, and you see like other sports, and it's just happening. And I love the sport of arm wrestling. So when I see, and obviously I turned out to be right, Ryan was completely unjustified. So definitely wanted to speak out against that because I'm definitely passionate about that.
Yeah.
I respect that, and I just want to let everybody else know too, because people were saying, "Oh, don't kick off Tom off the show." And I'm like, "Kick off Tom? Like that is what we are proud of, is that we all hold our own strong views and that we can all still be cool."
And I want to mention, remember, it wasn't that long ago we had the whole controversy over the live streaming situation, and that seemed like a big thing at the time. One thing will pass, it'll go to the next, but we're going to discuss it. We're going to share our opinions honestly, and we're going to move forward. That's how it's going to be.
Yeah, these topics are cool, at least for the community. They can get entertained, and good for the YouTubers as well. We have a lot of stuff to discuss. There was a comment from Stizzy: Tom didn't make it on the card because he wanted $10 million. There was a controversy around that as well when you were demanding $1,500.
Yeah, well,
guys,
even then, I Tom, if you remember, I kind of called you out on that, and there was one point, and I was very clear on my stance. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve those $1,500. My problem is that he's not interested in justifying that. Like if you're asking,
it's understandable.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you spoke your opinion too. Like I said, it's don't ass kiss me either. That's what the whole podcast is for. Speak your mind. And it's true, I didn't justify it, but after the fact, looking back on it, how I made a video on how I would have liked to have responded in the situation was, at that moment in time, I actually didn't even really care to have a match with Freddie. I saw myself, I saw him as someone trying to get clout, trying to get, likes and subscriptions. I was like, well, I don't even want to have a match with this dude unless he's gonna, there's gonna be a monetary incentive. So I didn't even want the match. And then it got to the point where, there's trash talk and everything got muddied. And I'm like, all right, fuck it, I just want to have the match. And now he's canceling. Hey, look how it totally flip-flopped now. It's crazy.
Hold on, guys. This Wednesday, everybody, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time on the Arm Wrestling Buzz Show, we are gonna get to the bottom of this. We have Freddie Sanchez and Greg Brown coming on, and we're either gonna make this happen or we're just gonna forget this match for good. But we will get some closure on this Wednesday. And maybe another, guys, this one you're gonna laugh at. Tom, if you don't know him already, definitely go take a look. We're gonna have another special guest on. He's making his appearance again. Barry Bourne will be popping in. Barry Bourne has been resurfacing in the arm wrestling community. I don't know if you know him, Tom. I know Pradeep definitely knows.
Is he a guy that had a match with Gary Roberts or something like that?
Yes.
He didn't have a match. I don't think he did, but they were supposed to have a boxing match.
Yeah, bro.
I vaguely
lots of
remember.
Craziness. Barry Bourne is a great guy. He's just resurfaced. I think he was just hanging out with Travis Bajan.
Barry's a legend. He's a legend. He ended up on T-shirts and stuff. Like it's amazing.
Well, man. I think he's looking to make a comeback, guys. I think he's been doing a lot of training. I just was on the phone with Travis, and Travis was like straight up telling me, he's like, bro, that dude was the strongest dude at this Texas practice I was just at. He was just murdering everybody. I think he even was pinning Travis. He's like, bro, he is so goddamn strong, and he's like 300 and some pounds right now. So I'm very interested to hear from Barry. That might be a good match right there, bro. Tom and Barry eventually, man. That just hit me, bro. That might be.
Tom is going to destroy Barry.
How come you say that, Pradeep?
Tom is going to destroy Barry. I just don't believe that. Yeah. I've seen him.
I gotta let you know, bro. Barry Bourne is unreal strong, bro. Like
Paul, you versus Barry will be really close. It can be a good match.
No. Yeah. He's another level above me, bro. As far as size wise.
I've seen him. Have you seen him arm wrestle?
Yeah, bro. I threw him, man. We did him in the Weirdo Camera Guy.
Yeah.
And bro, he goes around. He smashes a lot of people. Low end pros he's beating. Now his problem was when he came in challenging Dan Mosier to $10,000 super match. Going to the top of the top. That's where he went wrong. But as far as Barry, bro, Barry will take out a I'd say 70% of the pros, man.
He's
real.
from Texas?
He's from Shreveport, Louisiana, but he trains with the Texas guys. I believe he goes over by Julian Galligan over there and Mike Edwards. Yeah, so definitely, bro. I'd love to see you guys.
Couple of super chat guys, sorry to interrupt. Vigilante with another couple of dollars. Devon wins right hand, but not left hand in my opinion. I think we already discussed that. Dennis Siplenkov's left arm is just not there. I think he wins both. And
Pradeep, where did you see Dennis pulling left recently? Have you seen it on video or anything?
In all of the practice polls, like Arm Olymp YouTube channel, everywhere, and there used to be some videos on the True Power YouTube channel. Everywhere you can see him. He's just like getting beat on the left arm.
Why does Artem Morzov, every time when I had Artem on, he just kept saying that Dennis is going to be the guy, bro? He's like,
that was before they started pulling, and I'm not sure if you watched that practice pull or not, but I've watched it, the pull that they had in Dubai. Maybe Morozov was tired, or maybe Dennis was in good shape at that time. I don't know what happened, but Dennis was just in his normal stance, laying back with back pressure, and Morozov tried to hit sideways and like nothing moved. His hand just collapsed. So that's how that practice pull went. And after that, he started saying that Dennis is like a wall, he cannot beat him. But now he gave another interview where he said that a year ago I cannot move Dennis, and now I'm able to easily pin him. I don't know if he's ready or not, what's the case, but I'm also surprised that I felt as good as I did against Dennis. That's what he said in that interview.
I mean, Morozov put on a masterclass against Corey West. That was super impressive performance with just complete control there. That was very shocking to me.
Yeah, and
Clouds,
I couldn't
Clouds fire with Clouds fire with a couple of dollars. Buy yourself a coffee and a donut. I don't know what that was about, but thank you, brother, for the support. Yeah, Paul, you were saying something.
Yeah, I want to also talk about this week on the Buzz. We got to really break into the August 26th, that Knuckles Up going down in Jersey. And the reason why I also want to put spotlight on that is Ryan Espey will be there that day, and he'll be pulling Wagner Borrelato left hand. And, that one's got my interest now, bro. I don't know how that's going to go. What's your thoughts on that, Tom?
Well, I think Ryan will probably win that. Reason I say that, Wagner Borrelato has a left arm match next week at East versus West against Farid Osmanli. So then he's got another match in only about 3 weeks on the same arm as a high level pro. He might be banged up. Maybe he'll win easy against Farid. I think that would be hard. I don't see him winning easy against Farid Osmanli. This is a guy who's gone in wars against John Brzezinski. This guy's an experienced arm wrestler. I predicted Farid to win that. But, I think Ryan probably the favorite in that match.
What about you,
especially stylistically, because I saw Ryan Espey against Michael Todd when Michael Todd was trying to get into the press, and Ryan kept him out of the press the whole time. So,
and that's what Wagner is probably going to do in my eyes. I think
that's what I was thinking.
I think Farid Osmanli is probably the favorite against Wagner, and Wagner is the favorite against Ryan Espey. And I say that because if we try to remember all of the matches that Wagner has lost, people are beating him inside. Like even Hermes Gasparini was not able to fully open his wrist. When he tried to top roll, he went in kind of a high hook, and with side pressure, he beat him at King of the Table. I'm talking about Hermes Gasparini. So nobody is really top rolling him. Devin was dad moving him, hooking him. He couldn't really open his wrist. Everyone is beating him that way. So seems to me that he's difficult to top roll. Not impossible. Of course, there are many people who can do that, but difficult to top roll. And if he's difficult to top roll, that's Ryan Espey's only lane against him. He cannot beat him in a hook. That's why I think Wagner is the favorite in that match.
That's an interesting point. Do you remember the match with Georgi Zaranov versus Borrelato? I believe Zaranov went inside as well against. I don't know. I can't remember if that was on the right or the left, but I think
he beat him in a hook. In a hook.
Yeah.
I've not really seen Wagner getting top rolled. That's my issue.
What about in the strap?
How much does Wagner weigh these days?
Wagner?
Yeah, is he?
Yeah, bro, he's like 340 or 350 something.
Jesus
340.
I don't think he's that big. I thought he was like 310 or 300.
No, absolutely. I clearly remember about 7-8 months ago his Instagram post saying 150 kilos. He used to operate 145 kilos, 146, and then when he went up to 150 kilos body weight. That was like 6-7 months ago. I'm not sure how heavy he is right now, or almost a year ago it was. But he's still.
He was barely able to breathe in that one East versus West match. Remember, I think Jody Larratt was on the corner of him, and he was like all sweating in the chair, just like panting, just like dead.
He was about to order dinner there over there on that chair.
He is fun to watch, bro. I love his energy, man.
What
Definitely
do
a
we
fun
think about Larry Wheels? Some of the recent performances with him, I think, is just crazy. I'm wondering who you guys think would be a good match for Larry Wheels next.
I think Larry Wheels needs that. He needs to meet the gatekeeper, man, of the elite level. So I think we got to figure out who is the gatekeeper right now. Is it like an Austin Jaggers?
I mean, he
Wayne
beat
Withers?
Tony Tomlinson on the left, which is huge. I think Larry's left is even stronger. And to be able to go right through Tony Tomlinson, who's like known as like number 2, number 3 North America. That's, I mean, that's already way past the gatekeeper. That's already at like the high level. I think maybe even Cody Merritt could be a match for him on the left. On the right, I was thinking about
left is tricky, bro, because it's like we really don't know who is the real elite level, man. I feel like we are at the beginning stages, and we really need to iron out left hand
in North America. You mean
in North America, bro?
So who do you think? Devin, Cody Merritt, Ryan Espey. Who are you thinking here? Who's the top
Bro,
5?
I think you could even throw in some crazy things like Vrez, like little man
Oh my
Vrez
God,
could be
Brez is
somewhere in
insane.
this talk, bro. You know,
At like
I'm not kidding,
180
bro.
pounds.
I'm
Oh,
dead
believe me,
ass,
I
bro.
pulled them. I know, Paul.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, I think left hand is kind of wide open, man. I bet you there's some guys out there that we're sleeping on. We don't even know that could be top with the left. You know, I think we need to start ironing that stuff out.
But like, who else other than those 3? Because I can't really think of. I mean,
Well,
I'm
when I was
thinking.
saying for Larry knocking on the elite level door for the gatekeeper, I meant more right, because I feel like we kind of like zero in where we could start him off, and and I would personally, I would think in Austin Jaggers, a Chance Shaw, possibly like a Wayne Withers. I would love to see one of those. What out of those 3, which one would you guys like to see Larry go against?
I mean, I think he might be pretty dominant against Chance Shaw. I think Wayne Withers might be hard just due to the hand control. Austin Jaggers, I think Austin Jaggers would be the favorite. But I was also thinking Kirill Sarichev might be a good match. They've had kind of a friendly practice rivalry between each other in Dubai. And Kirill guy is looking like a
That's
rock.
the guy
Did
with
you
the
guys see him against
glasses.
Schoolboy, sparring with Schoolboy?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
made Schoolboy work super hard in that practice.
How much does he weigh though? He looks kind of small.
Bro,
Sarichev?
Kirill is a
Bro!
monster. He's a
He's
monster.
a former
You know
world
what?
record bench presser.
Dude, you know what it is? I'm mixing it up with the little light
he
guy,
makes
the
he
skinny
makes
dude with the glasses.
He's
he
like
makes Devon look
6'5".
small. No.
Yeah,
He's
nah,
like
wrong guy.
he's 6'6" at least. He makes Devon look small. He's
guy.
six
Okay,
six
do you
and
guys know who I'm talking about? Who I was mistaken? The guy in Dubai, they would at the gym. He was a little skinny dude with
With
glasses.
the glasses.
Yeah.
Akimbo,
Akimbo.
69.
Okay, my bad. Yeah. Okay.
Kimbo is also legit, man. He's bulked up to like 80 kilos right now. And I know Larry was tired. It was probably, I'm not sure. He had a practice pull a day or two ago, like constantly for 2 days. So Larry was kind of tired. But he, while weighing like 72 kilos and 21 years of age, he beat Larry Wheels in a practice super match.
It's crazy.
That was
I got to put this out there, guys.
Yeah, at least a year ago.
I got to put this out there, guys. I've been watching Adam Silver is making his comeback from his injury. I heard he hurt himself in January. I think he might have had surgery, but he's been posting. He goes, "The bodybuilding bully is back." Well, I got to say, bro, I'm personally taking offense to that, man. And I'm just gonna say this, Adam Silver, right now. Why don't you go find a bodybuilder that actually knows how to arm wrestle, bro? Whenever you're ready, come on, man. Let's do this.
I think you'd be too strong, Paul. I'm gonna be honest.
What's that?
I think you're probably way too strong for that to be a match.
Oh, yo, I appreciate that, bro. But I just want you to know, man, Adam Silvers, he's been pulling like 20 years.
Yeah, I know. I pulled him in California. I mean, he's definitely solid, but I would probably have you as a favorite.
Well, I appreciate that, man. And, I definitely, when I first seen Adam, I always looked at Adam as like the next level above me. So I always look at it as a challenge and everything. Travis always told me he was really good arm wrestler. And, dude used to be extremely jacked, had a lot of weight on him and everything. But
yeah, I heard he trained with
was it
Dave Patton or someone like that? One of those legends in the sport.
Well, I just see him beating up on all these bodybuilders, and I take offense, man, because I'm kind of representing the bodybuilders too, and I know I came in the sport, I kind of sucked the first 2 years.
Yeah, but you're an arm wrestler now. You're all in. I could tell.
Well, I'm feeling spicy these days, bro. So I'm just putting it out there, man. Adam, I got a lot of respect for you, brother. But if you ever want to make this happen, I know you would have to come down a little, man, because I just seen him competing in the 242 class. I'd meet you at 220, bro. I'm not going to expect too much, but if you want to do this, man, at 220, I'd be open to pull Adam Silver. It would be an honor. So just putting it out there.
Let me read a couple of super chats. And JR Williams with a $2 super chat. Is the Freddy match going to happen, or was it all a rush?
This Wednesday,
he's trying to. He called
Wednesday,
me up.
9:30. Wednesday, 9:30. We will get this answer. None of us know yet, but I want it personally.
Just go to my
this
channel.
match.
You see the video.
Yeah. And then, Pradeep, can we please, bro? We got to get you in this, man. December 9th. Let's get him a match. Like for real, bro. I want to see you come out to Arizona. That would be friggin' amazing. Hey, guys in the chat room, who would you guys like to see Pradeep pull, man? Let's get him out here December 9th. Let's talk to Greg Brown. Let's get some sponsors involved here. And,
who would be a good
I
match
really would
for
love
Pradeep?
to have
That's
Pradeep part of that. Pradeep, who do you want, bro? Who you been sizing up out there, man?
Not really anyone, but if you look at the chat, they will probably say Aussie arm wrestler. That's who they will say. But maybe we can find. I'm not really any particular.
I like that.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's a fucking good one. I didn't even think of that one.
I would just like to have a match where both of us have a possibility of winning. I mean, it should be close. Like, it shouldn't be a clean sweep either way. That's what I want.
Well, I think that might be the one, man. What is Jake weighing these days?
He's like, I'm probably 85 kilos. He's like 95 at least. So maybe 25 pounds heavier than me, 25.
Wow. I thought Jake was a lot smaller than you. Holy shit. Okay. And what's Jake's level at, man? I remember when he first came in, I know he came in, he always was showing his trophy around and all. So I know he does arm wrestle. What's his level at?
I'm not sure.
Trophy.
I'm not sure. He got a few pin in the Arizona amateur class. I think he got a few pin.
Oh, nice.
People are saying Rebecca.
Are you training
Rebecca
right now,
Todd.
Pradeep?
No.
Are you doing table time? None. Nothing.
Bro, he's lying, man. He's lying. Because remember when I was calling him out and we were trying to get a match, all of a sudden he started a member part and he started gym training. And he started showing all his training videos.
I did three of those workouts. If the members can confirm, I did 3 of those workouts.
I can see Pradeep secretly training, man. I can see it, man. He's got that competition in him, man. I definitely could see that.
Yeah, let me knock out a couple of super chats. Vigilante, once again with a couple of dollars. Larry versus Ryan super match. I think that can be interesting. And J.R. Williams with his membership comment, Pradeep versus Greg Brown. He wants that match. He was willing to travel to India to get that super match. Greg Brown versus me. I'm not sure what his level is. But yeah, he wants
Greg
that match.
might be a little too much, bro. I think he's a little bigger than you, and I think he's been arm wrestling quite a long time, man. I think he's like 10 years in or something, He goes off and on.
My elbows are still in a state where I arm wrestle like they are gone for the beginner's pain, like toothache pain. I still get that because once I arm wrestle for a few practices, I have that pain. So maybe the elbows are getting used to of that. But then I go to my workplace and like I go there for like 6 months, no table practice, nothing. When I return back, so now it starts all over again. So if
you got stem cells in India,
there you go.
Yeah, maybe
they got them.
When you come out here, bro, we'll get you hooked up with Vitacell, man. Come into Arizona, we'll go right over to Louisiana after that. Go to Vitacell. But yeah, for all joking put aside, man, I really would love to see you going against Aussie arm wrestler, bro. I think that's a really good one, and
sick.
Yeah, bro, to have them two part of the event.
Full card.
Oh, hell yeah, bro.
The Buzz crew.
Pradeep,
You got to get Josh to start arm wrestling. I don't even think he arm wrestles.
Have you been to North America, bro?
No, never. I've never been.
Dude,
never.
We gotta get him here.
Never been out of my country. And people are saying in the chat, Pradeep versus Jody Larratt, Pradeep versus Auden Larratt. I would have gotten Auden maybe if you had that match like a year ago. I think I could have done something against him a year ago. Now he's like way too much for me. A year ago, I think I could have done something against him. And Pradeep versus Rebecca Todd. No, guys, you are way underestimating me. Way underestimating me.
Oh
That's
man.
funny, but
That's
Neil
not
Pickup.
right. The Pradeep, Rebecca will kill him.
Neil Pickup was also in the chat. He was saying, I don't know about Wagner versus Ryan. Wagner, if Fit has all the power advantages versus Ryan. Okay, Ryan has some technical lanes, and if he pulls like the weakest man in the room, he can win. Tom would crush Barry. That's what Neil Pickup is saying.
Wait, Tom would crush Larry?
Barry Bond. Barry Bond.
Barry Bond. Oh, okay.
I
thought
told
he
you,
meant
Paul.
Larry Wheels. I was like,
I
oh.
told you, Paul.
Yeah, but I don't understand how you guys would know, man. I used to hang out with Barry all the time and watch him pulling everybody. You guys, would you see him pull like once or twice on it? He's a good, bro, for real. Ask Travis when you guys get a chance. Ask Travis what you think about.
When
Barry.
you come into Texas, come train with me.
Yeah, dude, I definitely got it.
Team,
but
bro.
I got to go back on my words too, Tom, and I got to apologize, man. I was originally thinking that Freddie was going to be the favorite in your match and all, because Freddie's got a lot more experience. But after seeing you pull with Bob Brown and hearing Bob talk about you, bro, yeah, I got to say, bro, you are very impressive, man. And
I'm under the radar.
Yeah, no, I was surprised because I know you've only been in the sport 2-3 years. So I was like, there's no way that, he could be at that level. And then when I seen, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, I've had the great privilege to be able to train with guys like Bob, guys like Oleg Moisey, guys like, a lot of the Southern California guys who are so skilled. Derek Smith's practice team, Jamie Sheldon, Vosgin, some of my first practices.
Texas.
What's that?
Bro, you that squad you train with now in Texas, man.
Yeah, you got to come out. It's a great team. You have a good time, man.
Ian Wagner, all those dudes are
Greg Gray.
No
we got the number one guy in Texas in Austin here.
Yeah,
Dimitri.
Dimitri, bro. Dimitri Kachin, man. Yeah. Holy shit, world level arm wrestling.
I want to pull with him more. We only pulled once. He was fucking toying with my wrist.
Wow. So let me ask you, bro, are you getting better pulling now that you're in Texas or when you were in Vegas?
Same. I'm improving. I'm
same,
still
same level.
Well, yeah. Each 1 week at a time, one practice at a time.
I'm just saying, as far as your training partners and all, like, would you say your Texas training partners are higher level than what you were training in Vegas? I don't want to start any problems for you. I don't mean it like that.
We don't have many super heavyweights out here is the one thing. So we got some high level guys like at the 180 area, like Greg, Ian. We got Dustin, who's one of the top guys in Texas at around like 200. He's really good to train with, really strong.
Dustin who? What's his last name?
DeWoody. He has a match coming up on the 29th next weekend against Luis Alarcon. It was supposed to be that round robin thing. Remember we had him on the podcast?
Oh, yeah.
It was supposed to be with Bob Brown, Jamie and like the 4-way, but it's just against the Luis guy, I think, who's from El Paso, I believe. I think it's Freddie's teammate. So yeah, he's one of the top guys at 200. We got Dimitri. We got a lot of good guys, and there's consistent practices. That's one of the things I like out here more than Vegas. There's actually 2 teams out here, so there's practices like twice a week. There's always a practice, so you're never going 2-3 weeks without a practice. Sometimes if people don't want to host, so it's really fantastic because the practices are there if you want to go.
That's what's up. Yo, guys, we got to talk about that big tournament they just had, the strongest badge. That event is no joke, man. That thing is next level. The quality and the production they put out with the super matches on Friday night. Yeah. And I heard being there was just amazing. Did you hear anything about that, Tom?
I saw the super matches. I did not see the tournament footage. I saw some great matches. Kevin Palco had a left and right match. He lost on the right to Jake Houston. Yeah. I remember we had them on the podcast. They were talking about that match. And Jake, very impressive performance on the right, but Kevin able to win on the left there.
Shout out to Jake, man. That was really impressive. I know that's a big win for him, man, for real. Kevin Palco is next level. So whenever you could beat his right, dude, holy shit, bro, for real. Yeah, that was Did you get to check that out?
No. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh man, yeah, dude, check it out. The strongest badge, big tournament, goes down in St. Louis. Big following and lots of high caliber arm wrestling. Really good.
I wanted to quickly discuss a couple of points before we sign off. There was one comment from J.A. Cobbin. Love this panel. Great chemistry. The Arm Wrestling Buzz show, man. It has to be
Hell
great
yeah,
chemistry.
bro.
Yeah. So first topic is still somewhat related to that Ryan Espey Devon Larratt thing, and the second one will be about injuries because we're recently seeing too many arm wrestlers getting injured. So the first one is laying down intentionally. I know it's a tough subject, and many people will be saying that yeah, it's kind of okay, it happens all the time. But my problem is that it doesn't really happen that much in some other sports, and it looks, to me at least personally, it looks really bad when I see that there was someone who should have finished. Okay, if you lay down a few matches, you're helping your teammate or countrymate, whatever, then but you still finish where you were supposed to finish according to your own level, then I'm kind of okay with that. But the way I saw one comment, maybe Ryan was mad because now he cannot qualify for the WAF Worlds that he would intended to because he finished second. So first of all, he didn't finish second. On one arm he was third, and on one arm he was like out of the podium. He was probably fourth or something because I think it was triple elimination tournament if I
Really?
remember correctly. Yeah. So
Oh wow.
so that was the, I may be mistaken, but that was the place. He got third on one arm and he didn't finish on the podium. So that's the problem because Devon should have been first on both of them, and he was second on left arm, I think, and third on right arm or something like that. That was my problem. So what are your thoughts about intentionally laying down or kind of faking matches? Because then where is the line? Then if that is accepted, then people in the future, because there will be match fixing. Arm wrestling is in this sense a completely pure sport where at least I don't think we have ever seen any big match getting fixed for money. And now that's a big, like, kind of a criminal offense. Once that starts happening, how do you, if we are not even trained for looking at some stuff like that, if we just accept, okay, laying down is a part of a game, intentionally losing is a part of game. So once match fixing is involved, how do we know if it was strategy or match fixing or just intentionally
So I
losing?
think it differs between super match and tournament also, because usually the betting is only on super matches, right? We're not betting that much on tournaments. And in tournaments, you'll see a lot of guys laying down to their countrymen, whether it be Zoloev to his younger brother, or the Bulgarians or the Kazakhstans. You see it at the World Arm Wrestling Championships all the time. And I saw a comment the other day, yesterday on the video that said, you only have the privilege to lay down if you're you're the stronger person. I think that really kind of explains it. If you're strong enough to where you can go through the bracket to only face one person that you want to beat, and then you have the honor, you have the privilege to lay down after that because you're already stronger. So I mean, I don't really see a problem with it, to be honest.
I do see a problem with that. If it's just doing it strategically and it's like your boy or whatever, and you guys already know who's going to win and it's going to help each other go get further in it, then yes, I understand laying down. But as far as that whole situation, what Devin did unintentionally, all he wanted to do was beat Ryan Espey. That's all he cared about. But it did change the whole outcome of the tournament, and you might have ruined somebody's day that was supposed to win, or what I mean. So that I could see where there's an issue. Personally, I don't have an issue with it, but I'm just looking at other people's side where they didn't like what Devin did. So I do understand that, and I do see that being a problem. But as far as just laying down for your boy or whatever, that's part of strategy of a tournament.
I think it's kind of impossible to prevent that. I'm well aware of that situation. But at least these situations where the athlete is kind of himself admitting that he's doing it intentionally. So it is not a part of any strategy. I think this situation could have been prevented if there was a specific rule against preventing these type of situations. In that case, I also know we are encouraging people to be better actors. So they will just try to act and they'll still
Pull
lose.
a Salaya versus Vitaly.
Yeah.
real quick.
Vitaly.
Yeah, exactly that. So that's the problem. But I think still, if we can avoid some situations, then I believe it's better than doing nothing at all. I'm not sure if I'm the alone person in this case, but to me, if somebody losing it's even in super match case when somebody like Dave Chaffee is up 5-0 against Kodecha and he intentionally lays down the a mercy sixth round. it just doesn't look cool to me. It doesn't happen anywhere else in any other sport. Maybe I'm not aware of that many sports,
Hermes
but
did the same thing against Gennady in one of the last two rounds of their match.
he still got injured. Like that was the case. He got injured. But can you imagine a basketball game if the team is up like 75 to 25 points, and okay, you guys take 30 more points. We want to make
the alternative. You pull a Levon with the defibrillator and you just sit down and you don't even go to the table.
That's
is
even
there
worse.
a rule that you would implement? Is there any kind of rule that you would put in line so that doesn't happen?
I think that will eventually have to be given as a form of some extra power in the hands of the referees. Eventually, they're the one who are going to decide if somebody intentionally laid down or not. But at least there is some fear that can be created around that thing, so that the rightful person finishes on the top of the podium. If Devon finished number one on both left and right, I would have had no problem with that. I don't care where Ryan Espey finished. If that could be a part of a strategy, like that person is down, I still won the tournament though, that would have been totally okay with me. But there are some situations where we can easily identify if a person is intentionally losing or not. And if I think 3 person are involved, 2 referees and maybe some other person like a promoter, Engin Terzi or something, in the case of East versus West, maybe they can decide if somebody is intentionally losing or not, and that can be started with a warning, then maybe with a foul. So these small things can be implemented so that people start doing it less.
This is like a very, very rare scenario. This is not a scenario that happens often whatsoever, though. I mean, this is Devin going into it.
This is a good way of figuring out what we could do to prevent it too. So,
but it's like somebody said on the podcast, you don't prevent against the 0.1% scenario. You don't make a rule regarding everything based on something that almost never happens.
Let me ask you, Pradeep, this. Pradeep, what would you change from this past issue with Devin? Like, what could he have did different that you would be okay with?
I said it already. He could have beaten Ryan Espey, and he could have, from the B side, he already went to the finals and he kind of waved it off. I don't want to compete. He lost that final match, so he just needed to win those matches. Like this is the number of losses that he can take before he still has the chance to finish on the top of the podium. And he did that. I would have been totally okay with that. That's what he.
So he gave another athlete the opportunity to go to a championship, and people are not happy about that.
Yeah, that's my big problem as well. Like, that is not a true representation when the weaker guy is winning. I just don't like that. The strongest man should win, in my opinion.
But in a tournament bracket, there's always a factor of a draw, and it's more than just a 1 versus 1 super match scenario. So when you say rightful winner, there could be someone who got a bad draw in a tournament. They might be the stronger.
But in that case,
still someone's eyes.
Even in that case that you're mentioning, endurance is involved. That is also a part of a game. You got tired out because you had a long match. What is that? That leads to endurance. Basically, you got tired out. So that is still a part of a game. But intentionally, when you can beat someone and you can win, but you lost intentionally, that is a completely different thing than getting a bad draw.
My question for you guys also is, what is these nationals, like what caliber of an arm wrestler is supposed to go there? Because I was seeing in the comments that people were saying that no pro should be involved and that Devin had no right of even entering that this is more for amateurs. And then I just said to them, I was like, well, if you look at it like that, then why would Ryan be allowed? Ryan's a world champion as well. So I just wanted to kind of clarify, what are the nationals? Who are they made for? What caliber arm wrestler? Are pros? Should they be involved in this?
I mean, when you think of nationals, you think of high level pros, right? You think it's like, it's a US nationals. You think it's the best guys from all over. I mean, just in the name, you're thinking it's the best pros,
So why would somebody say that Devin had no right of even being in it, that no pros should be allowed in there? That really doesn't make sense. Yeah.
And once again, they don't even mention that we are going to drug test. At least every national championship, in my opinion, every amateur league should at least mention that they are going to drug test people. Probably 30% of the people who are thinking about juicing up are going to get scared and not do that just because of that. People always keep on saying, whenever I bring this drug testing topic up, they always keep on saying it just doesn't work. And now the sad part is the promoters have also started saying that. We heard
Yeah, we
Matt
don't
Rhodes.
want no drug
Is
testing.
it
What are
is
you
it a WAF
talking about?
affiliate that nationals? It was a WAF qualifier.
Yeah, I think it has to be CAWF, Canadian Arm Wrestling Federation. It has to be under either
So by
IFA
nature of
or
it being a
WAF.
WAF qualifier,
And it
it's
would
they're gonna
have
have
to
to
be.
be
Yeah.
USADA compliant.
I'm saying don't even test. Maybe surprise test just a single guy or the top guy who wins or top three guys. That's
That's
the
what they
best.
did it. That's what they do at WAF, right? They did it. If you remember, Cody Merritt got popped for I think his world championship there.
Yeah, yeah.
So let me ask you, when was the last time they drug tested somebody in the nationals? In the Canadian, that's a question I want to know. You know, like, are they actually legitimately
Never. I
doing
don't
this,
think
or are
they've
we
ever.
just
I don't
there
think
is
they've ever
none?
tested. So that's the problem. Don't even test. Just mention that there will be testing, and people. It's better. It's still. I know people are still going to take stuff, but it's better if at least it solves the at least 20% of the issues. People keep on saying that it is not going to work. How can you say that? Like Gennady has been caught for steroids in the past, and what is the other Georgian big dude? Revaz Lutidze has been caught. Sabin
In
Vedulescu
WAF.
in VAF, yeah.
Oh wow.
Sabin has
Okay.
been caught, and the name that you just mentioned, Cody Merritt, has been caught. And the example that I
Yeah.
keep on giving, Usain Bolt lost his 2008 relay medal because his teammate Nesta Carter got caught. People are getting, whenever there is a drug testing, the results are never, we didn't find anyone. There is always someone who is getting caught, and yet people keep on saying, well, drug test is just a myth. It never works. People can easily find a way around it. Then why are all these people getting caught? If there are 10 people who are juicing, and if we are able to catch four of them, five of them, how is it worse than not
Well,
catching any of them?
are
I
they
just don't
actually
understand.
randomly testing, or is it just like based on the people who are winning? Like, how are they selecting that
Randomly,
randomization? They
randomly.
could say it's random, but how are
Yeah,
they?
but
Are they actually randomly
think
Yeah,
what they
selecting?
they
were
have a paper name listed, and
Really?
they randomly
But
pick
I
the
know
I
there's
guys.
all
think
sorts of
what they were
political
doing
stuff
is
going on with the
finding out
WAF
the
there.
winners. I think they were finding out the winners, and then from the winners picking somebody out of there to drug test.
Yeah,
That was what I was.
random.
I
Yeah,
think that's the
random.
best. That's the best and the cheapest way as well. Just have 3 drug testing and mention
Pradeep,
that we are going to
So
test all of the winners.
yo,
Mention
the
we will
best
test.
way would just get rid of it all, bro. Like, how do we do this on some of these leagues and then not on the other? So now we're making WAF where you're going to be drug tested on there, but now these WAF guys, how are they going to go in East versus West and compete against the East versus West guys? You know, that are
so
juicing and the King of Table guys.
yeah. So if you look at the UFC before there was drug testing, everyone was big and massive, and then like now they have very strict drug testing protocols with the UFC, and it seems to be pretty effective. Obviously, you'll have guys get popped. You know, John Jones, a notable example there, but you know, I think maybe it's just a monetary thing. Maybe at some point the sport of arm wrestling will get to the point where they're able to do across the board drug testing, like something like the UFC. But there will still be probably separate organizations, like you said, that have the mutant monsters who are fucking roiding the fuck out of themselves, you know, like hella pancakes. So yeah, we'll see.
But I find it's hard because, you know, you got guys like Georgi Savetkov that is a WAF champion, and, you know, he really holds that, like, that's what he wants to do. And now he's getting into East versus West, and his problem is like, yo, it's not fair. These guys are juiced to the gills. I'm coming in there, I'm getting tested for WAF, and I got to compete with these guys now.
Yeah, but I think he's accepting that going into that match, just like Krasimir Kostadinov is accepting the fact that he's natural going against fucking monsters, and he's not like trying to make excuses for it. He's trying to challenge himself to see if he can compete with those guys who he knows are obviously enhanced.
Yeah, I just think we should get rid of it all, man. Like, just let them, all the athletes, pretty much 95% of these elite guys, they're doing it. Let's just accept it and just go on, man, because I don't see, you know, doing some of these leagues drug testing and some of them not. I think that's unfair. You know,
I actually disagree. I actually like the fact that there is at least one organization that at least tries to say that they're, you know, drug free in the WAF. And you see a lot of amazing athletes like Angarbayev, Irakli used to be in that WAF class. Obviously, we saw him get a lot bigger, a lot more enhanced. But there's still
now question. So Angarbayev and Irakli and all them. So now are natural? Like, what do you?
I believe Angarbayev is. I would believe that. Irakli, no.
Or is the other thing that they're doing is they're just using fast acting compounds, you know what I mean? Because when you want to beat the system, there's definitely ways to do it. I mean, you could do, you know, oils that are in and out of you in 2 days, you know, propionates and all that. So
Right. I'm sure
are
there's
they
some
just
people who are
adapting?
trying to take advantage of the testing time frame and stuff like that. I'm sure there are some, and I'm sure there are also some who are just genuinely natural and trying to compete and do the best they can. You look at guys like Bojidar, Krasimir, Angarbayev, a lot of the Kazakhstans.
Yeah, let me read a couple of chats. J.F. Williams with a $5 super chat. Clearly, PED use is rampant in arm wrestling. Pradeep, do believe there is a strong correlation between the spate of injuries and this abuse. I think there may be a correlation. I may be wrong. You guys can correct me. I've seen this one thing that guys who are natural and who are not at that high level, they kind of have those injuries where their wrist is injured, their thumb got injured, their elbow is having a problem, or maybe their shoulder got dislocated or had some problem. But guys who are like juiced up, in these we are seeing like they tore a pectoral muscle. When was the last time you saw like a really natural guy who just goes to the gym and tries to compete? When was the last time you saw that person tear a pectoral muscle ever?
Because the muscles grow faster than the tendons when you're fucking juicing.
Yeah, and your strength level it's 100%. When you're juicing, man, you're definitely a lot more risk of getting hurt. I mean, because your muscles are maxed out. They're a lot of times they're overpowering the tendon, and the tendon can't hold on, so they pop like that. So yeah, it definitely big factor. Definitely big factor.
And Vigilante with another $2 super chat. Larry is juiced. He definitely has an advantage over guys. Now he for some time he was only on TRT, but I think he's back on more because he wants to compete in bodybuilding. He said that publicly. And Neil Pickup said the top 3 finishers turn over a card and it will denote whether they are going to be tested or not. I've done it many times. I think that's the best way. That's the best way.
It's the top 3. Okay, that's good to know.
Let's hypothetically assume I'm thinking about entering a tournament and I'm thinking about juicing up. But then I'm also in my mind, I'm strong enough that I can finish on the podium. And trust me, arm wrestlers are not that smart, bro, that everyone can cheat their way around a drug testing. I just don't think arm wrestlers are that smart. Half of them are going to get caught for sure in the most basic of the tests. So if I know I can possibly finish on the podium and the top 3 guys are for sure going to get tested, then I might get scared because of that. Now that's a really cool way in my opinion. And as someone said when I discussed this topic about 1.5 years ago, someone said, who really cares if the 16th 15th place finisher is juicing up or not? Like the podium finish is what matters. So testing the top 3 guys in the tournaments, and I think if people are saying that they don't have the budget to do that, I think they're clearly lying. Like everyone has the budget to do 3.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Do we know how much it costs for each individual drug test? I mean, how does that?
For the simple basic drug test, I don't think it's too much.
$75 to $200, I believe.
Yeah, around
it is
around 150 200. That's why I also heard.
I mean, I guess there are a lot of weight classes with WAF. They got 50 kilogram, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75.
Oh,
80,
it would cost
85.
you a fortune, bro. The promoter would be screwed. That's why you have to just randomly pick a couple. And like I would do, like Neil was saying, you just pick the top 3 guys and you just out of those, that's who you raffle and see who it is. But
I think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, I like that. But my question is that's how WAF does it. But is that what the Canadian Nationals do as well? Was that confirmed that they did drug test somebody on this last one?
I think if I were to assume all assumption, I would assume there's no drug testing. It just, I don't know. Was the qualifiers, is it for the person who got top 1 and 2 or even up to 3? Pradeep, do you know? Because you said Ryan Espey wasn't able to qualify, right?
Someone else said that in the chat, but that's what I would assume, that maybe it was for the, and we're not even sure if that was actually tied with WAF, it was a qualifier or not. Maybe somebody can mention in the chat, but I don't think more than 2 guys qualify from any weight category from a country, because they have 2 representatives. So clearly every country has, I think, 2 from one weight category. I have not seen 3 people go to WAF from same weight category. So yeah, top 2 are going to place.
Let me ask you this now. That being said, with the drug testing and all, what if Ryan accused Devin of juicing and all that? Is that another charge he could have brought him up on, and he could have had him tested that day?
The Royd committee.
Yeah, bro, because that's the ethics committee, and it's like, are the ethics committee the guys that are in charge of going and testing at the event? Because that's
roiding is unethical to some, so I suppose.
You know what, Paul? I uploaded a video a few hours ago about this topic, my take on Ryan Espey versus Devon beef, and I did bring this point up. I think I said that Ryan was so much cornered and Devon boxed him into a corner. He had only one easy and kind of a cheap way out of that situation, and that was by bringing drugs into that situation when Devon was challenging him for $50,000. If I wanted to escape
Drug
from that
testing.
situation somehow, I would have said, okay, let's get this done. There will be, like RVJ did, like drug testing every single month, random drug testing, and let's have a 50,000. That would have been his way out. He didn't mention it.
I don't think that would have been a way out, because he didn't mention that in the initial complaint. He didn't even mention that. So if you were to just mention that in the podcast, that wouldn't be a way out. That would just look like a last resort way to try and
but it would have been slick. It would have been slick.
But that's already about the future super match. We're not talking about the past here. We're talking about a future super match that they were potentially talking about.
But what if Ryan is taking stuff too?
That's also what I mentioned in my video.
We can't assume that he's not either.
I mentioned that as well in my video, that there could possibly be 3 reasons why he didn't bring that up. One, that he that just didn't click his mind at that time. Maybe he was not interested, or maybe he's himself juicing. That was my third reason that why he may not have brought this topic up. But he could have.
Ryan loves his pancakes too. That's it.
and man, if you're so, and people once again say, okay, what if Devon has admitted publicly everyone is on juice, so why should it be any different? I think if 3 people have committed a felony or something, and one comes out that yes, I've done that, guess who is going to be taken into custody first? The one who just admitted. Just mere admittance to a fact that you've done something does not make it any less worse, in my opinion. So if somebody has publicly, openly said that
that's only if you're in an organization where it's banned. But I don't even think Devon has an intention of competing at a world championships. He's a professional arm wrestler, and he's competing as guys who are taking stuff.
That's the problem. They have a ethics committee set up, and they don't have a testing committee set up. That's, to me, that's really weird. That's really weird. Just mention, I'm telling you guys, if any promoter, any organizer is watching, do not test, guys. Just take a list from WADA, all of the prohibited substances, and just copy paste it on your own website, and that is probably going to scare 30% of the people. I can guarantee that.
With that one, you're right.
I'm not sure why people are not doing that.
You mean if the promoter is trying to make it a drug-free event?
Yeah, not the. I've not yet started talking about the professional event, but these amateur events, these nationals and stuff.
Because we don't really see that much in North America, unless it's like a WAF affiliate tournament. But I mean, just your local tournament, there's local guys who are juicing because they want to.
But Tom, it should be like that. Like, where are those natural guys going to compete? If these
nationals, and I'm agreeing with you. Like I said earlier with Paul, I think it's great that there's an organization such as the WAF that gives those individuals who want to compete against other natural individuals that ability.
Yeah. So
but then there's going to be distinctions between those leagues and then the ones where it's just open and it's kind of everybody knows that people are taking stuff.
It just sucks because, WAF, that's kind of where you look to get your top athletes and all. And, like I'm saying, as far as Engen and King of Table, and, if these guys, aren't juicing, and the guys that are on East versus West are, I just, could get a little unfair there, and I give that one example with Georgie,
So I wonder why, if you think of the UFC, just to kind of draw a parallel, how they have pretty strict testing. Meanwhile, they still have, mass monsters. You got guys like Ngannou or like Jones who are naturally massive. But in arm wrestling, do we want it to be the standard, or do we want the standard to be guys juicing and then there to also be the natural league? What do you guys think?
I like the 2 different leagues, kind of like bodybuilding. You had your natty league, and then you're just freaks and all. I kind of like that. I think we should have both.
Yeah, and just to make some things clear, people make fun of WWE, it's fake. Well, I just don't get it. Like, everyone knows WWE is fake. So how can you make fun of something by saying something as obvious as saying that WWE is fake. And even those fake guys, as we call them, even they have a list of prohibited substances that you're not supposed to take. Whether they're testing those guys or not, that's a different subject. I don't think they are, but even they have. And that when you have that list in place, then you can attract more sponsors. I don't exactly know how this sponsorship deals and drug testing works out, but I've talked with some high level promoters, including the owner of Pro Panja League, which easily is going to be the biggest arm wrestling league in the world, and probably already is in terms of professional tournaments. So he also told me that yes, I cannot explain it right now in short, but there is a big correlation between drug testing and attracting high level sponsors. So at least that's what I'm saying, at least have that list so that you can show it to the sponsors, and as we discussed early on, scare some of the people from doing
seems
that.
like East versus West is doing just fine with the sponsors.
I don't think they are doing with fine.
No?
Engin always has a problem with sponsors. You can watch his podcast.
I mean, you can always want more funding for sure.
Yeah, talk with Paulin, talk with any of the people who are associated with directly with East versus West, and one thing that they always keep on saying, that they are not being able to dial in the sponsors. Sponsors are not coming. They're not paying.
And you're attributing that to the fact that they have unnatural athletes?
I'm not directly, but I think I've heard. I'm saying I've heard that. I'm not saying that this is yet the case with.
So you're saying it's a factor. It's a factor for sponsors to consider.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, and I'm openly admitting that I don't exactly know that how it works out, but that's something that I've heard.
I also, Pradeep, I want to bring up, I was watching your show, and you were talking about Indian arm wrestling and how you would like to see more of it in East versus West, and you want to get Engin on board and all. I definitely agree with that, bro. I think that would be a great addition to East versus West. You know, you guys got such a big following of arm wrestlers there. We definitely got to start spotlighting that, and I do like how Ryan Bowen is he's going against, I believe it's Sadhu is the big super match he's got.
Yeah, Mazahir Sadhu.
So I want to encourage that. Definitely, I agree. And Engin, if you're listening, bro, 100%, man. Let's get all the Indian arm wrestlers involved.
I think I saw on that same card, Rahul Panikkar is also on that same card, who's another kind of viral Indian arm wrestler.
Rahul Panikkar versus Josh Barker. That's another match. And that kind of happened immediately. I interviewed Ryan about a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and I said, Ryan, you should invite Indian arm wrestlers, Rahul Panikkar, and maybe I think I said Mazahir as well, to Australia, to your event. And he was like, okay, give me their numbers, and I gave him those numbers, and the matches were immediately set up.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
it's smart because they're close to Australia too, closer than North America.
Yeah, for sure. Now consider this. I'm saying that as almost a fact. Consider this: you invite Rahul Panikkar to East versus West, you give that clip to a bunch of Indians to generate some shorts for you, for your channel. They'll edit it out, and I can guarantee Rahul Panikkar gets more views, probably 3-4 times more views than Devon Larratt. I can guarantee that.
Wow.
So many arm wrestling fans in India.
I took a screen recording from the WAF tournament, and it was a round where Rahul Panikkar lost, and it got like 2 million views on shorts. 2 million views where he lost, and some other guy took a clip where he won against someone, and that has like 15 million views. So the dude basically generated around 25 million views from a WAF tournament.
Are you in touch? Are you in touch with him, Pradeep?
Yeah.
You should get him on the channel, bro. You haven't had him on yet?
Yeah, I've had him on my English channel. That was more than a year ago, and on my Hindi channel as well.
Pradeep, why don't we see if we get set up? Maybe soon we get him on the Arm Wrestling Buzz show, bro.
The promoters are
to set that alarm early one morning.
I still don't think Indian Arm Wrestling is ready for that podcast type of content yet. They will be in the future. Definitely not now in the English language especially. But in super matches, I think it's crazy, man. When we see Rahul Panikkar versus Josh Barker and those crazy millions of views, I think the eyes of the other promoters will certainly open up to that revenue source. Or
it's awesome seeing arm wrestling having international athletes coming from different countries more and more. I mean, soon we'll probably see guys from, who knows, from Africa and stuff like that. I mean, as the sport grows,
we already have Africa guys. We bought I remember it was 2 years ago, we all chipped in. It was Paul Lynn and Craig Millett. We all chipped in and we sent them out arm wrestling table. It ended up costing us insane money to ship it there and
So where?
all that. To Africa. It was we
Oh,
sent
really?
it
What
to
part
Africa.
what part
I'm
of
not
Africa?
sure where in Africa, but they were, they make videos. They did a couple of tournaments. They have like in the middle of the town, and everybody would come, and we'd watch it. And I believe they're still friends with me on Facebook and all. But
That's
that was
pretty
a
epic.
great thing to see, man. And just to see the whole town coming in the middle, and everything was revolving around this arm wrestling table was.
I think on Reddit or Facebook somewhere, I also saw, I was subscribed to that YouTube channel about a year or so ago. There is some African arm wrestling event. I think it was Ghana arm wrestling or
That's them, bro.
Ghana arm wrestling
That's who
school.
we got the table. That's
Yeah.
who we got the table.
And those were like highly like professional video quality, and I think it was a school tournament or something, like really 1080p, really perfect video quality, and they had like 7 or 8 or 10 views on their videos. Like it was kind of disappointing to see that.
Yeah. But they're definitely trying. But a funny story that went along with that is when we sent it out there, Craig was the one that was in charge of shipping and all. The FBI and CIA contacted Craig, and they thought we were some terrorist organization that we were sending money out there or something like that. So it was definitely a crazy situation we got caught up in on that one.
Crazy.
Hell yeah. But another cool thing that I like about like even on the Arm Wrestling Buzz show, man, is like when we see all the followings, the different followings we have. We got Pradeep, and he's got all Indian arm wrestling, and then we had Greg Brown on, and we had all Mexico watching, and we had Josh going on the East Coast, and we got Tom who's got the whole South, me over in the West. It was like, dude, everywhere we're getting all over the place, and it's showing me that arm wrestling is taking off. Every culture is loving it. Everybody's getting behind it.
We're seeing a new podcast, a new promotion every month, it seems, and it's only growing the sport more and more for everyone.
Hell yeah. Yo, how about that Concrete Elbow? Where's Concrete Elbow at, man? I like that channel. You guys watch that Concrete Elbow channel on YouTube?
Oh, yeah. It's like it's a good channel, like the short videos.
Yeah. And he's got that crazy voice, kind of sounds like a robot or whatever.
I think it's got to be like an AI translator or something.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a real voice.
I wonder where he's at.
I think it's a translator will not pronounce elbow like he does. I think it's a real voice, but he's changing the tone. I think he's increasing, like reducing the pitch, so making the audio more dense. Like I think he's doing that. A few comments I want to read. Neil was saying I've never been a fan of steroid use, but a small part of him enjoyed beating up juiced up guys. But that can backfire when you are almost about to win the championship and you know that the guy who beat you in the finals is juiced up. Then that can kind of backfire as well. Jaya Williams was saying Paul is right, either everyone on or everyone's off roids. And then Paul Barrett with a $2 super chat. How good would Ongarbayev on PEDs be? Beat Levan?
Jeez.
I don't think so. He's like, I don't know. Like everyone
You never know. Look at their match from 3 years ago. He looked pretty decent that first round or two there.
Everyone responds differently. Like sometimes RVJ just assumes that if he takes the stuff that Levan is taking, he's also going to be a 400-pound monster. I don't think it works like that.
My assumption, guys, I know I'm going to be like in the minority with this, but I think they all are, bro. I think they all are taking shit. I would say, Ongarbayev is on, a propionate, something that's in and out of you in 2 days. It's not going to blow you up. It's going to keep you lean exactly the way he is, and it's going to give him that performance that he wants. So in my eyes, I think the WAF guys are just on fast acting steroids, bro. And I think it's
that's going to be controversial. He's competing in WAF pretty soon.
I'll stick to that, bro. I swear all the WAF guys, that's what they do, man. It's the same with the bodybuilding world, bro. You figure out what works and what doesn't. There's always going to be people beating the system. And I mean, it's not rocket scientist, Pradeep, bro. You know that substance is in and out of you in 48 hours. So I
don't think it's the majority, though. I think there's probably some people, who are trying to abuse the system and take it, and when there's not testing with the timing, but I don't think it's the majority.
But the stuff that you're saying
in the WAF, for example.
But Paul,
I think the elites all are, man. That's me personally. What were you going to say, Pradeep?
Yeah, the stuff that you're saying is in and out in like 48 hours. Is it going to give you the same benefits, or is it even that much?
Let me tell you, Pradeep.
sustainable
Sure.
that you can use it for like in and out system for like 6 months or a year. Because if there is no testing, there is no threat of being banned or something, that people are going to just test throughout the year. And maybe if there is testing, and especially when in today's world people are competing so often, maybe out of the 12 months, 5 months they are going to have to keep themselves clean. So that is, even then, that is going to reduce their level
You know
down.
what, Pradeep, you are right with this. And now I just remembered one of the interview that I just had with Sandra Sadis, and Sandra's kind of enlightened me on that. And Sandra said that they do random drug tests in Lafayette. You know, so they'll call you up and come in for testing, and I think you have a certain time frame of what you got to be there for. So, you know, they are on the shit like that. You know, I don't know if WAF is doing the same thing, but they are randomly drug testing people and all. So they still are taking risk. You know, there is ways to getting around it, but if you do get that phone call and you got to show up within 24 hours to get tested, could be.
Yeah, imagine if Sanders took gear. Would he be able to beat Levon, Pradeep?
I don't think so. To me, I'm honestly,
Would he be able to beat Devin? Would he be able to beat Devin?
On the left arm, yes. Right? No, I don't think so. But I'm not sure. Like Sandres is like he used to have some hair going on a few years ago. Like I always used to say this thing about a couple. I'm not claiming or blaming.
Sanders is clean, bro.
I'm not blaming. I'm not blaming anything here. But I was like, there are three things that the beginners like me basically look at when deciding someone is used up or not. I always used to say that if you suddenly got a beard going on, you're probably not juiced up. We cannot say. If you suddenly got a lot of muscles, we still cannot say that you're juiced up. And if you suddenly lost all of your hair, we still cannot say that you are juiced up. But if all three of those things happened like within a year or so,
Natty, you're not with Pradeep. New series coming to YouTube, guys. Subscribe to Armwrestling.
Then I'm
coming
not
out with the Natty or Not series on.
Then I'm not like
every single week, guys. Just pay attention.
Am I crazy?
Click
like
the bell.
Like if somebody lost all of his hair in like a year or two, got bulky, and like got a thick beard as well, like all three of these things combined, like is it sufficient to claim that?
It's easier ways, bro. I could tell by looking at their jowls. I mean, they start getting these jowls in their face.
Look at Conor McGregor after that leg injury, how he just completely GH'd. His whole face looked bigger, his neck, his skin color looks darker.
Bro, if you're writing with a pen and you got your veins popping, yeah, you're juicing, bro. You can just see it in them, man. When they're working out, you're gonna see that their skin's gonna turn all red, the veins are popping. And I mean, I look at guys, bro, and when they tell me that, in my head, I know, bro, you're lying. You know, I know straight up. You know, other guys, we recognize each other.
Yeah, so you're saying Sandri. I'm not saying he isn't natural, but like
Sanders is natural, bro. Like,
so Paul, why do you say that so certainly? But then with Angarbayev, you're kind of skeptical. Are you just saying that to kind of play devil's advocate that there's some guys that are taking stuff and abusing the system, or do you actually believe he's not?
I know some, and it's nothing personal. I'm not saying Angarbayev or anything, but I know a lot of the WAF guys, bro, and they are on juice. Like I'm straight up, and they will tell you they're not. I will not mention no names or whatever, but I'm also that guy that's like in North America too, bro. And I know a lot of these guys' secrets, and then I see these guys go on there and they're like 100% natty, and they're making all these like videos, and you're just like, holy shit, bro. Like I know your little secret, and I can't believe you were going out of your way to bring up the whole natty shit. I'm just like, yo, it's one thing just to keep your mouth shut and not tell them, but to make it into whole I'm natty and all this when you're not is just, you know.
Are you referring in North America specifically? You're referring to Rob Vision or any name in particular? You're referring to
bunch of guys, bro, bunch of guys, and I'm never gonna mention nobody's name. I would never do that to somebody unless, you know, they made it public themselves. But I'm telling you, I know these guys' secrets. I also know a bunch of WAF guys that compete currently in WAF, and they go with the short
I think
route.
there might be more of a stigma in these Eastern European countries when it comes to taking stuff, but I think in the West, not so much. I mean, you see guys like Mike Aiello talking about, I took this much trend before the match, and he's making jokes on it and stuff like that. And even in bodybuilding, if we look like 10, 15 years back, I'm sure you can attest to this, how gear was so much more looked down upon. And nowadays you'll see YouTubers saying, you know, here's my stack. Everybody in the comment section is like, I applaud you for being honest about it. So I think culturally it's kind of shifting the perception of people taking stuff. That's why if I were to ever take stuff, I would be open about it. I would not be the person trying to, be on stuff and pretend I'm not.
Yeah, I was, dude, and I just want to let you guys know, I come from the bodybuilding background, was a fitness model, did this full time, made money off it. So, it made sense. I juiced back then, did a lot of juice and all. I've actually learned from arm wrestling that, doing a lot less is a lot better in the arm wrestling world. When I first came in, I was still going with the protocols of bodybuilder and taking a bunch of shit. And what I noticed right away personally is as soon as I get on the table, it was like taking a pre-workout and then arm wrestling. You blow the fuck up, bro. The blood flow is insane. So it actually would work against me. And it took me, a year and a half, 2 years ago of tweaking things and actually putting all this bodybuilding shit that I've learned behind me and start now going to an arm wrestling and everything for arm wrestling benefits. And now I do a lot less. I'm right next to TRT and I'm straight up, bro. I would not lie. A lot of people like, oh, you're not just on TRT. Yeah, it might be a little extra above TRT, but I'm not far. Like if you heard what I took, you'd be like, holy shit, where, 4 or 5 years ago, bro, I was taking 4 or 5 times the amount. And I never took a tremendous amount of steroids or anything, but, I'm not going to lie about it,
And it almost seems like for arm wrestling too, you would want to use different compounds, like you said, not ones that are going to make you blow up, ones that are going to actually be more beneficial to arm wrestling. And that's something we don't actually see.
Was saying, as far as injuries too, bro, I had to learn a whole different thing because with bodybuilding, you're taught if you want to look like this is what you take. Well, it actually would work against you because you will hurt yourself if you're taking the same stuff as a bodybuilder. So, educate yourself if you are taking juice and all. We just had that guy, Tyler Noblet. He takes no steroids or anything. I'm not saying that, but he was trying to give us the example of how he was taking an anti-acid and that is having a big effect on his bone density and why he broke these 2 arms. Well, it's the same thing with steroids, guys. You take some of these steroids, you are going to screw yourself on the arm wrestling table. You're going to pop your biceps, you're going to break your arm. So you definitely want to educate yourself and get your cycle for an arm wrestler.
Yeah, especially if there's like compounds that are going to like dry your tendons or make you less hydrated, make your tendons less strong and stuff like that. And we don't see since arm wrestling is kind of really starting to blow up, we don't really have the people out there putting that pharmacology information regarding arm wrestling. You see it when it comes to bodybuilding, like bodybuilding podcasts. Oh, take this if you want density, if you want to gain mass, or if you want, like the biohacking, like you see like more plates, more dates. I'm sure you guys are familiar with his YouTube channel.
We had somebody like that, the guy that just passed away, which is
Leo. Yeah.
Leo was that guy, and he was just getting out there and kind of educating the arm wrestling community with that, and that's definitely somebody I also learned some of my knowledge and other coaches that I've been across over the past. I've definitely talked, but it's definitely something that I think should be talked about in the community. And kind of have maybe that podcast where, we dive into this and talk about the different cycles and other things that we've heard where it's caused injuries and all. So I think the community could,
nobody's doing that. Literally nobody. I mean, obviously you said Leo, but I can't think of any other examples of anyone like openly discussing that on a podcast.
The other problem is with sponsors and all that, by me saying this as well, that, I do juice, it might put off some sponsors and people that would want to work with me and all, but I'd rather be just honest and straight up. I'm not doing this for any kind of financial gains or anything like that. So I'd rather just be straight up with everybody in the community and all. But that is a problem with I could see a lot of the top athletes. They don't want to say this because of the blowback they would hear from sponsors and all.
Yeah.
All right, guys, it was an amazing show and people really seem to enjoy it. I'm reading the chat as we speak. Brendan Allen talks openly. Yeah, many people talk about it openly, and Leo was the guy. We're not sure. Are we sure how he died? Because I've seen like those people who do try to educate other who are themselves very knowledgeable about the sport. Even they cannot avoid like the side effects and stuff of it. Joe Aesthetics, like he recently died. I don't think he was like kind of a dumb guy who didn't know anything about the usage and what he should be doing. And I would assume, like, first of all, if anybody is jacked using drugs, no matter how he dies, that is always going to be blamed on steroids. That's what we just assume.
He had a brain aneurysm.
Okay. What's that?
It's something in your brain, like you get like a tumor type thing in your brain or something.
Yeah, so that may very well have
Could
not
be
been
from,
related to any PED.
or it could
Yeah,
be
he was
also.
referring to in a podcast with Bradley Martin that his blood levels were off after taking the jab, the vaccine. He was
Okay.
referring to his blood level, and he was talking to his doctor. He's like, "What's going on?" And they said it was due to the vaccine.
So yeah, I think and people really I was really happy to see that when Levan was trying to sell a bunch of SARMs on his own channel with that guy, and he got a lot of backlash from the community. I really enjoyed that, and more plates, more dates. He kind of ripped him apart, like basically like thrashed Levan, kind of insulted
Was he
his.
actually trying to sell them? Like, was there a link in the description or a certain brand
Yeah,
that he was
yeah.
trying to
Contact
promote, or
that
was he
guy.
just-
Contact that
Yeah,
person who
bro,
was
they
selling
were-
them. Yeah, they
Yeah,
were
they
selling
were
them.
leading
man.
up to that,
that's
bro,
not
which-
good. That's not
That
good.
was kind of ridiculous, man. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe they went out and did that.
He's-
That was a bad look, man.
He must have been getting paid for that big time.
Oh, big time. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
just
look at
taking
that
a
dude.
SARM to get to 400 fucking to 430 pounds. Yeah, that's
Bro,
all.
if you're looking to sell
Not
steroids
HGH or
something,
test
who would
or
be the perfect
fucking
person
D-ball.
to put on advertising? Levon, bro, the Georgian Hulk. I mean, the dude looks crazy. So
Yeah,
anything
take this
that guy
one
does,
SARM,
bro,
you'll look like him.
exactly, bro.
That's
I ordered my
crazy.
kit, bro. I got my SARMs. I got the Levon SARMs. Nah,
Why don't I
I'm
look like
playing.
Levon yet?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get it under Dennis Saplaikov. Baby Saplaikov on his way, baby.
What's Dennis's stack? What SARM? What multivitamins Dennis take to look like that?
I don't
As I
know.
said, I was really happy to see that kind of backlash against Levan, and they should deserve it if they are openly kind of promoting these PEDs. They do deserve that. And I read one comment under Engin Terzi's post. Engin posted the photo where Gennadi's bicep is all bruised up on his Instagram page, and
didn't
under
see
that
that.
comment, there was one comment. I don't think it is related to that, but it was funny to read that. He was like, that guy was like, you know that SARM guy that was selling SARMs on Levan's channel, he got all of them injured. He got Levan injured. He broke Zorob's arm, and now he injured
Oh
Gennady.
my god!
Oh my god.
Now he injured Gennady quick video.
Oh no!
It isn't true, obviously, but that was like funny
Oh
to read.
no, that's funny though. Yikes!
That was funny stuff. All right, guys, if you have anything else to add, I've already posted Tom's channel's link in the top of the chat, pinned comment, and Paul Italia's channel is tagged in the title of this video. So please go there and subscribe. The Arm Wrestling Buzz show will be live in just over a couple of days, so it is going to be awesome as well. Anything else that you guys want to add before we sign off?
Just get over to gripzilla.com, put in the code PAUL10, receive 10% off. And then that website, guys, griparmsports.com. Go over there, check it out. I just ordered a bunch of straps. I got the Grip Arm Sport straps. I'm going to be giving them away on our show on the Arm Wrestling Buzz. They got amazing shirts. I got this cool shirt on here, only Grip. So definitely get over there and use the code Italia15, receive 15% off. Pradeep, I want to thank you. It's always a pleasure coming on your channel. Always a good time with both of you guys. We definitely got a good flow, and I really feeling it. Only guy we're missing, man, is Josh Grip and Rip, man. We're missing you, brother. Hope you're enjoying your vacay, and hope to have you back this week on the show.
Yeah. Also, guys, subscribe to my channel. I want to start doing more live streams again. So I'm going to get back into the swing of doing that again. It's fun, like interacting with viewers, talking about popular topics, a lot of big topics in the arm wrestling community. This was a great podcast. Thank you, both you guys, for the podcast. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday as well.
Thanks for joining, guys. And if anyone promotes steroids, keep calling them out. Keep calling them out.
Hell yeah. SARMs, baby.
natties.
Come get your Levon SARMs.
Natty or Not series with Pradeep coming soon.